out with us. Can't hear. We don't have audio.
Well, why not?
Don't worry,
I
it's
don't know.
fixed. Keep going.
Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to get right into this campaign and this session. But first, I just want to go around, see how everybody's doing. What have you guys been up to? Derek, let's start with you, man. How have you been doing,
man.
dude?
Doing good, hanging around being brown, the usual. Can't complain. But doing a lot of wild RP stuff. Walter Cross is a criminal doing criminal things, and that's mostly what I've been up to, honestly, for the past week. And surviving the COVID, because my whole family got confirmed for it.
Oh,
Yes.
no, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
The entirety of the fams all got it. But hey, listen, we've been kicking its ass for the past week and a half. So, I mean, other than that, we're doing pretty good. Don't dwell on that. Much love, though.
Hell yeah. Glad
That's
you
how
guys
I've
are
been
doing good, though.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Ray, how's it going?
Hey, it's going fairly well. I'm very excited to be back here today. I'm super excited to keep going and seeing what's in store. And yeah, it's been good.
Good. Justin,
Hi.
how are you?
Hey, man. I'm good. I'm Doc Rimbo. He, him, they, them. I'm great, but the energy for those people on this side of the stream, the energy coming out of the green room was pretty absurd. And so I'm feeling just a little bit goofy still. I got the giggles. And we'll see how that transfers over to a very grim and sort of depressing setting.
Well, we gotta get our frowns on, our straight faces on, because we ain't happy anymore. Just kidding.
What goes up must come
Awesome.
down.
This is good. This is good. Isla, how are you?
I am good. Hello, howdy. I'm just making sure that everything's working this end. There was a small technical fault there that I've still not figured out how to fix, but it's fixed itself, but it's doing something differently. So, yay, production. Yeah, I'm all good. Week has been my entire week has been thinking and running up to this moment. So, yeah, just chilling all week and waiting for this. In all honesty, it's just what it is. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'm ready. I'm ready. Vadranis, take me.
Vadranis, take me. That's gonna be a thing. Vadranis, take me
away.
When someone hopefully never inevitably passes, they say Vadranis, take me.
Well, I'm writing that down.
May not be what you think it is.
Get like the prayer hands or something. I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're all gonna tattoo on the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited. I don't know. I get so hyped to even just like prep anything or just think about it. I get so excited. So we're gonna do a little bit of a baby recap, and then we'll just hop right into it, shall we?
Awesome.
So, last we left off, our wonderful band of adventurers made their way into the Lost City of Vedranis. For reasons we're not quite sure yet for some of us, for some of you, met a cast of unique characters. Father Highbald, or not Highbald, that's someone completely different. Father Haldred and Brother Chiron, two priests of Emera. Vauder had a wonderful conversation with them, or with Chiron, and got to know him a little bit better. Nock had I don't know what you'd call it, Derek, a moment of intimidation by a giant statue.
Hey, listen, I got my question, all right? I want one of them.
You might eventually get one. We'll see. Ray, Kimura, and Wisp scouted out the area to see what they could see, and you guys eventually made your way to the Sentinel's Rest, the inn and tavern here in the town of Hallow, which is kind of the staging area for would-be adventurers. There you met Lorne, the Furbolg barkeeper, who told you a little bit about Hallow and things like that. He also told you that he sent some adventurers out to find his memories that he seemingly lost within the walls of Vedranis. Kimura searched the inn to see kind of what it was about as far as exits and entrances into the area and whatnot. And Nock and Vodder went to a bounty board and picked up a bounty from Duxon the Gold Dragonborn to kill some giant bug. You guys learned that he was a some sort of follower of Ilzoros, who is one of the lost gods, and learned that it was several days into the Old Croak Market, which is a large district of Vedranis. You then went to a halfling known as Reg, who gave you a little bit more information as far as the distance and where on the map they think it might be located. And after a nice rest, Wisp went to the Wayfarer Spoils, which is a pseudo general store, though it's quite empty, and met another Aragonasi by the name of Sky, and purchased a couple rations and some rope. And you guys made your way towards the gates, towards the Old Croak Market, which is where we continue on our journey. You guys are approaching these gates, and they are opening to you. As you guys are walking, let me get a little bit of a change in music here. You guys hear a voice behind you immediately as you're about to cross the threshold outside of the city. As you turn and look, you see Brother Chiron, who is, as well as he can, trying to hurry and get to you. You can see he's dragging something behind him, and he seems like it's quite a labor for him to get anywhere, as you guys know of his kind of his medical state, having some debilitating disease or something that he's had since as a child and has seemingly found no cure for. But he is trying to race up to you before you cross the threshold of the town of Hallow.
I would run up to him to try to take the load off of his back. Like, oh, I got this there, big fella. Let me take care of this.
As you pick it up, he says,
thank you, my friend. It's very kind of you. I noticed that you were heading towards the gates, and I had some things prepared for you for your journey. I thought it would be kind and generous to give something for adventurers. And as you lift a small satchel, which is not heavy at all, but seems for Chiron to be probably one of the heaviest things he's carried.
Okay. So I pick it up. Can I look at its contents? Can I open the satchel up to see what's inside?
Yeah. So you see 4 standard healing potions, as well as a bundle of bandages. I would say about 10 bandages are kind of wrapped up together. Chiron then comes up towards you, Vodder, and he's pulling something out of like a small side satchel that he has, and he hands it to you.
I attack him with my warhammer. No, just
Oh God!
I watch him as he approaches, and I say, "Oh, what is this?"
It is a scroll of aid. I thought it might help you if needed.
Is it a spell?
Yes, if you recite the incantation that I've written down, I think it will help you and your friends, or at least some of them.
And he looks at all of you because you have Calder with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the spell is powerful enough to affect everybody, but maybe some of those who might need it more than others might help them.
When should we use it?
Whenever you think is pertinent, I suppose. I think it will last for 7 or 8 hours. My incantations and my scrolling, my scribing is as good as it used to be.
Well, thank you. And for the bandages, Imera's blessings be on you.
And he nods.
May Imera's heart bring blessings upon you, and may Velen's hand bring your guide to change.
Thanks. Thank you. He sort of awkwardly turns and goes back towards the group.
I think I'm gonna take the sack. People in front of me, I'm guessing, is the rest of the party. I'm going to give it to Wisp. I'm gonna extend my big arm over to you. I'm not gonna be good with all this. Not to mention, I move around. I end up breaking one or two of these. This is for you.
Oh, all right. And she'll take it and kind of just, if it fits in her pack, she'll put it in her pack. But if not, she'll kind of just like wrap the bag around like herself, just kind of, haphazardly almost.
Okay.
And while they do that, I'm just gonna take a peek at that scroll, can I make heads or tails of it, like what it does, what kind of
Yes, so you can
enchantment?
so you can add this to, you guys can add these things to your character sheets. The scroll that you have is a scroll of aid.
Okay.
So it will be the aid spell.
That's the good.
And what that does, so you can choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration.
Got it.
Is what that is. So
Sweet. Take a look at it, and I sort of say, "This is good. This will help."
Kyron nods.
I hope you'll find. Hopefully, you won't need any of this, but from the stories I've heard, anything will be of help, I suppose.
Yes, you've been very generous. Do you need help getting back into Hallow?
I think I can manage. I thank you, though. That is very kind. I'm sure you have more pressing things than help a young man back to the cathedral.
Yeah, we do. Bye.
And he turns and walks away.
Okay. Kyron then begins slowly kind of limping and just trying to make his way back to the cathedral, leaving you lot alone.
Well, now we go.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get going.
Yes.
So the gates are in front of us, right? The gates to where the next part we need to go.
Yep.
Right,
So yeah, you have the bulwark, which is the giant wall that surrounds Hallow itself, and there are several gates that lead out into Vedranis proper that you guys can leave from. And you were told to leave from the north west gate.
And are those gates open at the moment?
They are. Yeah, it looks like somebody up on the bulwark has opened them for you. And as you guys look up, you see several figures kind of staring down at you.
Are they wearing any like guard uniform? Does Vedranis have like a certain like? I mean, we haven't really seen much of the empty parts of the village we were in prior, but do these people look uniform? Can I make a spot check to see if I see anything of that sort?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Sweet deal. That's perception. That's right. 5e.
5e.
Also, Derek, you're a little quiet on the chat front, it seems. I don't know if you're able to turn up your mic just a tad.
A little quiet.
Hold up.
All right, I've jacked up the sensitivity.
There you go.
My ass gets it gets loud, so I'm gonna apologize now.
You're good. We'll let chat help us if we need to. So what was that? Was it the first roll?
That was the first roll, yes.
Okay, so 4. You can't really make out the figures. They're kind of just more silhouettes as high up as they are. Yeah, you can't really see them. You'd have to actually like climb up into the bulwark itself to see it.
What are you looking at?
So that's the first time we've seen anybody that looks remotely like a god or anything else like that. Up above us. I mean, we look anywhere else, there ain't a damn god nowhere. And I'll make this very clear. I'm the type of man that attracts a guard.
Oh,
But I've seen nothing.
maybe they are all inside the city, or protecting Hallow.
So maybe they are.
Yeah. Well, maybe we are the guards now.
So if they pay me a guard salary, they might go ahead and have my axe. But other than that, no.
Oh.
I got one thing on my mind, and I want this millipede, centipede, deadipede thing dead.
We'll be a deadipede.
Indeed.
Yes. Then we better get moving.
Do I remember? Did we get like a cart or something like that?
I don't
Some sort of
believe so.
Okay.
I think
Are we on
didn't
foot?
we? Yes.
You
we
you
did.
have a cart technically that you arrived in,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure if you guys said if you were bringing it along with you or not. I mean, you sure can if you like.
I'm okay walking.
Yeah, I'm a pack mule. I'm a big man. I'll carry half the load.
Yeah, zero aversion to walking whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like something like
Oh.
one like Goofy movie style, like packing their car up and whatnot, but on Nock's back.
Yeah, of course.
It's like it's amazing that there's any like it's stable or anything like that. Yeah.
Some Disney shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else that you guys would like to do, we can get the first little journey underway. Let me bring you guys to the map.
Ooh, map.
On the map.
So you guys will probably need to
Nope.
zoom out a little bit because it's all black except for the per day until you reach your destination. As you guys travel, you will get hungry, get thirsty, and things like that. There are some rules in place of when you guys start getting hungry. If you guys look at your character sheets in Roll20, there are hunger, thirst, fatigue, and temperature levels, which you guys can click and track essentially. How it works is once you guys get to like the 5th or 6th level of any of those, which is like the bottom ones, the bottom two, you will sustain a level of exhaustion. And the way to recuperate obviously is taking short rests, eating, drinking, sleeping, things like that, and then you can change those as necessary. So those that's just for tracking purposes. So we will use that, and everybody should have control of the hex. Don't just move it everywhere though, because I don't want you to reveal part of the map that you're not going to. But you guys are free to decide which direction you go. So you can only see the one hex that you're in, and then the hex that you guys have traveled through will be kind of like a fog of war, where you can see where you've gone, so you can kind of track your way back. You guys were told that this bug is about 4 days away in the old Croak market. I don't know if you guys remember the directions that you were given, but you are free to travel one square at a time, and I will tell you, things that happen, that don't happen, all that sort of stuff.
Sure. Is anyone good with finding directions? I'm okay. I think we're supposed to go to the northeast, towards the market. Does that sound right?
He did say that big-legged creature is going to be somewhere in that area, over in the market. We can head
Right.
there.
But I
That
think
sounds fine.
northeast.
And do I just sort of know which direction that is?
Yeah, so I'll give you just like a little tip. So the way that the map is oriented, you guys will be leaving directly north technically.
Okay.
Out of the gate. So the first hex, if you're
Just
following
north.
the directions, I would head straight north. Otherwise, you're going to be actually heading into technically a different district of the city.
Okay.
North.
That's the only little baby tip that I'll give you for now.
You're so generous.
Old time, baby.
That's right.
So if we go north, towards the market, right?
That seems to be what makes sense to me.
All right. Knock, would you mind going first?
Mind if I go first?
You're very big.
That means I get to the creature first.
Yes, and the statue.
So you got something stuck in your throat?
No,
Me.
no, minute. You get a statue someday. So you go first.
So hopefully I have a whole statue in every single square. Fine.
Yes.
Big old right in the middle of the market. Discount off of food. Let's go. I'm going ahead. I start push forward. He throws his axe over his shoulder and he starts walking forward with confidence.
And
Because I'll
Vadar's
attain
going
glory
to
what brings me.
follow close behind as we head north, just because Vadar's pretty perceptive, so he's going to be kind of scanning the horizon.
You can see Calder trailing. He's kind of trying to stay in the middle of the pack, so you can see him just kind of shuffle with his, wringing his hands, kind of looking every which way. You see him grasp at some sort of like medallion or something that he carries with him, and he kind of just looks around, not saying anything, but he's like, you can kind of see he's getting a little bit of the shakes already, even though you've only taken like a few steps outside of Hallow.
Yeah. I'm
And
gonna
you guys can feel
Oh.
a difference as you take a step through the gate, and the gates close behind you with a loud crash.
With Calder, Kimura is literally as the gate kind of crashes shut. Kimura's just gonna look Calder dead in the eye and just be like, "Don't do anything stupid, okay?"
I'm not planning on doing anything stupid. I'm planning on following everyone's your lead, Miss Kimura. Don't worry.
Calder, stupidity is not planned. It is a distinct lack of planning. And that's Captain Kimura. And then he just kind of pushes him forward.
He's like he's about to say like Captain Kimura, gets pushed, and he continues shuffling along. What you guys see as you enter into the Old Croak Market, you can see a sign hanging off one of the hinges that says Old Croak Market, pointing in the direction that you're headed. You also see another sign that's pointing in a western direction that says Ricken Row. But it's extremely... Yeah, RICKENROW.
Ricken Row.
The architecture is similar to what you see in Hallow, and as far as you can see, there's a distinct lack of people as well. As the doors close, you feel utterly alone, other than those who are around you. There's a little bit of life. You can see an occasional crow or raven fly ahead, an occasional rat scurry into a building. But as far as any people are concerned, you're not really seeing anything right now as you prepare for making your journey.
Can Nock looks around to see if there's any holes, burrows, any unearthed things around the market as we enter into it. Can I make another perception check?
Okay, so you don't see a market per se, at least not right now. You just see a cluster of homes and buildings. But as far as like a proper market, you're not actually seeing anything right now.
Okay.
But you can make me a perception check for sure and see what you can kind of gather.
We'll wait
you
till we
want.
get to the market. I'll wait till we get to the market. I thought we were inside the...
Yeah, so I don't know if you were told distinctly where the market was, but you were told that the market is a specific place within the Old Croak Market, but most of it is like cluster of homes and living quarters and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're supposed to head through the market and look for a fork. Not like not for eating. Like a fork in the path. And we go to the right. So, Yeah.
And then Vader pulls his hood up over his head. Just tries to like hide behind Nock as much as he can. It's just sort of like,
All right, let's go.
And Nock continues to walk the direction that he was told, towards the folk.
delicious.
While we're walking, can I keep an eye out for things that look like symbols or just like any, like on the walls, if there's anything that looks like it might be missing or fresh, like just anything that looks out of place, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. My character sheet is not working. I'm gonna reload it. Is that perception?
Yes.
Cool. There we go.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I
Hey.
thought it was a natural 20 for a second.
It is.
Is
It
it?
is.
Because I have a,
Yeah, it
I have
is.
a
Oh,
plus
that's right.
2.
That's right. Okay. It's like
I see
it showed up
everything.
we see everybody. So as you're walking, you're keeping your eye out for distinct markings or things that are out of place. Occasionally, you pass by homes, and on their door, you see white X's that have been drawn onto the doors.
You said they're on the doors of homes, like abandoned homes.
Seemingly abandoned. You're not seeing anybody move in or out. It's pretty quiet from what you can tell.
I'll point it out to Vader.
Huh?
Do you see the X's on the doors?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Do
know.
you think it means anything? Does it mean anything to you?
Maybe we're close to Hallow. Maybe they looked through these homes already for people. Yeah, they're
Maybe.
sort of keeping track of the ones they've explored.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Of how many doors do I see and how many of them are X'd?
I'd say like 95% of them are. The majority of them have X's on them.
I don't think we should look inside those places.
No, I don't think so either.
Either they're empty or they're dangerous. Don't tell Nock.
I won't.
He likes dangerous things, I think.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Let's keep moving.
Is it just Vodor and Wisp that see this?
He was the only one that I pointed it out to, but like I'm not trying to talk low enough that no one hears me. So if you overhear it, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, yeah. Unless anybody specifically says they're only talking to like one person and trying to hide from the others, I kind of assume that mostly everybody can hear it. I mean, and it's dead quiet out here. Like she would have to whisper quite quietly, for no one to hear. So.
Okay. Can I just like to highlight that I have my main weapon sort of, it's not arm holstered, it's out, it's prepped.
Okay.
You know what I mean, right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
Ready.
All right. So you guys begin traveling, and you travel for about half a day as you guys continue seeing very much the same thing that you've seen. You see homes with X's on them. You see some of them have doors kicked in with, trash or personal belongings strewn across the broken cobblestone road that you guys have been walking along. Go ahead, and as we approach midday, On your guys' tracking sheet, what you can do is mark increase your hunger by 1, your thirst by 1, and your fatigue by 1. So essentially how it works, or I guess, sorry, just your fatigue. You guys ate breakfast, so I'm not going to count that. How it works, and I can send you like a screenshot of this for you later. At dawn, so when you wake up, you get +1 hunger, +1 thirst. At noon, you get +1 fatigue. Dusk, you get +1 for all of those, essentially. But since you guys ate this morning, just increase the fatigue by 1. So you guys travel for about half a day, and you start to get a little tired. If you guys want to stop, you can and kind of rest. Otherwise, you can try to push through the midday if you like.
No, I don't need a rest. Nook, are you tired?
Never. Absolutely not.
Never ever.
Except we don't sleep too well up in the mountain peaks. The cold is brittle. End of the day, we nap.
Yes,
But we
naps
keep
are
it.
good.
Hangs onto his axe. So nobody lives here. Just judging from the looks of it, it looks pretty damn abandoned. Looks like the centipede's not only going after arms, but it's also going after homes as well.
Maybe. Captain, do centipedes like homes? Captain Gamora?
Judging by what we've heard, it's not homes that the centipede likes. It's flesh. Flesh tends to reside within homes, does it not?
Sometimes.
So, if it is around here, I would stay sharp if I were you.
Okay. No, I think we should keep pressing on. If that sounds good.
I agree.
I agree. Let's keep moving. Attain glory by nightfall. That'll be the goal.
Glory by night.
So, DM. So, looking at this thing, can we, looking at the tracker on Roll20, our little icon, can we move that north one?
Yes. Yeah, you are now able. Like
I'm
you
gonna
guys
do
can.
it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I did
And
it.
everybody should have control. So if you guys want to take turns moving it or have a dedicated map mover, you're more than welcome to. So okay, so it's not revealing. I can work on that later. It's not revealing where you guys have been for some reason. That's all right.
Yeah.
So you guys travel the rest of the day. It's quiet. It's eerie. You can see the brackish brown and green overcast sky ahead of you, above you. And soon, whatever light is peeking through this air begins to set, and it begins to grow to nighttime. And you guys begin to get hungry and tired and thirsty once more.
So we add one to each of those.
I'm getting sleepy. But good news, the sun is going down. So I like sunset.
So if we all need to go ahead and get some rest.
Should we
Are
make
we go-
camp? Find a place to stay.
I said, yes. Check out 1 second. He kind of opens his arms up and goes, we got plenty to go ahead and choose from, so go ahead and make this most spacious place.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate.
Yeah.
Does anything particularly look like, can I kind of scout either ahead or just wherever we are and see if there is a place that looks safe enough to kind of like make camp?
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival check for me.
Okay. Survival. Okay. Come on. Click. There it goes. No. No, a natural 20 and then a natural 1. It's
natural
fine.
20. It's
I
the
know
way-
nothing.
the dice roll.
It is
You're
a
kind of
stream.
looking around, and the only secluded like area that you can see is probably one of these abandoned homes. As night begins to fall, you approach a cluster of houses, and every single one has an X on them.
I don't see a house around without an X,
I
which
guess I'll
means
just-
we'll probably have to take the risk.
Yeah, we'll have to pick one. It probably means that it's empty, so that's good.
We can only hope.
Question. Preparedness wise, are these houses able to fit somebody of Nox caliber?
Statue.
Be
Why did you use
honest.
the word caliber instead of size?
He's a very large gentleman.
You could maybe like get on all fours and like sideways squeeze it. It's gonna be tough, but you might be able to fit in. But these definitely aren't Goliath size, especially such a large Goliath such as yourself. Not quite the size for a person of your stature.
Knock looks at all the houses and all the openings, and he goes, I can't say that all these things are built for me, so I'm gonna sleep outside. The rest, I'll put a little canopy over the roof of yours and make yourself real comfortable. I'll keep watch, at least the first round.
I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think that's a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea having to sleep like a ball. I'm gonna look like a damn boulder.
Yeah. We should stay close to each other.
Cole, is there looking around us, are there any high points?
Other than the roofs of the homes,
Okay, so there's no like nearby churches or anything like that.
not in this area, no.
And the roofs, can I see from where I'm at, are the roofs all kind of your typical triangular to a point roofs, or are there any flat roofs, or?
Most of them are wood shingled, pointed roofs. If you want to try to like get to a potentially higher vantage point, you might be able to see if you can see one that might work. But from what you can see,
Okay.
that's what you see.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try and get up to a high point and just kind of survey the area before we, like, fully settle, just so I can
Okay.
get a bearing on which way the roads lead from this point. If we needed to bug out, if anything came towards us, if we could, I don't know, route differently or anything like that. Just kind of getting a full lay of the land.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make me a perception check, and we'll see if you can find like a suited place and what you can see. I'm gonna kind of combine it with those rolls.
Okie doke. Let's have a look here.
18. You are able to
Yeah.
find it's not a like a flat roof. It's a roof that's collapsed in. And so you're
Okay.
able to climb up onto that. It gives you a decent vantage point. What you can see several roads heading off in several different directions. One to your northwest, and some smaller roads heading off into they kind of fork off
Okay.
in a northeastern direction. It looks like you might be able to sidle into one of those down one of those roads, and it's a pretty heavily populated area as far as like buildings are concerned. So you feel like you could probably sneak into like an alleyway or into another building or down another road if worse to happen.
Okay. All right. Whilst I'm up there, if I look into the roof, can I see much in there?
You have dark vision, so you can vaguely make out some things like strewn about. It looks like it's been ran down for quite a while. You see some bedding made of straw, but it seems to be pretty molded and gross. You see broken pots and pans and things like that, and spoiled food. You see a couple rats eating some of this food as you're sitting there, and they kind of scurry away as you kind of maybe make a little bit of noise just moving.
I'm gonna climb in temporarily.
Okay.
And just I want to see if the roof area is closed off from the rest of the house via hatch, or if it's just a straight set of stairs down.
It's a loft, so there's a ladder.
So there's a ladder, but
heads
it's an
down.
open ladder, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I peer down it? I don't want to go down it. I just want to kind of peer down, see what I'm seeing, if I can see anything from from the top down.
Mm-hmm. Other than, like I said, the pots and pans and the various trash and whatnot, you're not seeing much. You see a couple items that look like they're like personal belongings, but they've long since been left.
Right.
So it seems.
Okay. I won't tempt fate any further, and I'm gonna climb back out and climb down to the rest of the party.
What did you see?
Nothing. It is empty, vacant, possibly abandoned. I didn't go any further into the building, so who knows? But from where I was, no, nothing.
Would it be better to stay in a house that doesn't have a broken roof? Someplace with walls.
That really depends. All of these buildings are marked with X's. If we want to go in, you run a risk. Usually, when something is marked with a big X, it means not to go in. Or it's a warning that something in there should not come out.
Yeah.
And that's your call.
No, you're the captain. I don't want responsibility.
She
So-
she does smirk at that.
While this conversation is going on, I have a researcher's background. Do I know anything in any sort of lore that I could have read about white X's specifically? Because the color white is striking Wisp as being very deliberate. Normally when something's bad, it's used with like a red X or a black X. She's contemplating what the white could potentially mean, if anything.
Okay. Roll a history check.
Oh my goodness. I don't have my character sheet for some reason. I still have roll 20, but I don't have my character sheet. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, because if to her, if there's so many white X's and no one's around, like that does seem bad, but the white is still striking her as something that's interesting. Nope.
You can't place why there would be the white X's in your history, as far as the current day and age. Red X's and black X's, like you thought, you generally signify something bad, but you're not sure why in this instance why it would be white.
Okay.
Or you can't think of any reason of significance.
Well, I say we just pick one.
Okay.
We have to.
He points at one at random.
This one?
Okay. And he
Wait.
just sort of walks up, and he's going to listen at the door. He's going to put his bugbear ear. He's going to creep up to it.
Okay,
'cause he likes to
sidle
do
up.
that. He's going to, I mean, you can say stealth if you want, but he's just sort of like creeping up to listen at the
As
door
he-
to see what you're.
As he does that, can I cast silence, like, in front of him?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Or, like, I want to cast it so that, like, it's a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point. I want to make the point us that's back, so, like, just the tip of it reaches him so that
Okay.
he's quiet, but he can
Right.
hear anything on the other side.
Okay.
So I want to keep us all in the sphere, but have it just touching him in, like, right before he gets to the door, so that if he startles back or does something, he's already in that silent sphere.
Okay.
I'm gonna stack up on the left side of the door, or whatever. I'm gonna stack up on whatever side it hinges on.
Gonna breach and clear.
Breach and clear.
It's kind of, and then she's gonna draw her sidearm.
Make a perception check.
Okay. I'll do that.
There it is. It's a 10.
You hear a couple of things. You hear the creaking of something. You hear some scratching noises. And you swear you unmistakably hear the sound of a whisper. And as you listen more closely, it says, please. And it just, at some semi-irregular intervals, you can just hear, please. Please.
He sort of backs up abruptly,
What?
a little
What?
startled. He turns around to everyone who are all in the silent sphere.
I was
And he
just gonna
turns around
say.
and looks at them
I'll
and says,
Yeah, I'll dispel it as soon as he's
Okay.
trying to do that.
The whisper inside. Sorry. I heard some creaking and scratching and a voice saying, please. They sound scared.
Can I roll an insight check? I'm trying to figure out if that's a genuine please, or if it's like a not up to no good please come
Yeah,
into my trap.
Sure.
There's definitely a
Bad
variation in pleases for sure.
Right.
so this is-
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, insight. No, it's an 8.
It sounds like a genuine whisper.
Someone needs help.
And as you listen more, it sounds like a child. It is a faint, quiet, like childlike voice.
I think it's someone little.
Why would a child be here of all places?
Maybe they wandered away from Hallow. But maybe they were somewhere within the city here when it disappeared. I don't know.
And they wouldn't have found us before or come outside, or
They're scared.
that does not seem right at all.
I'm gonna look to the others.
Knox
Looking for
outside.
direction.
Knox outside. Can he hear the whispers from where he is, kind of like peering into the door, like.
I would say no. I think since Nox or Vodder's the only one who's like rolled a perception to try to hear, it is so faint. You can hear the other noises, like the creaking and the like skittering noises, but you can't hear the whispering, I'd say.
Yeah. All right, Knox says they got high ceilings.
Oh,
Motor.
I didn't look inside.
What's going on in there?
I heard a whisper. Sounds like a child's voice asking for help. I don't know.
So I've never really liked going ahead and trifling around with anything ethereal. That's not my type of fight. I like to have my axe go into something instead of go through something.
All right, well, I can help with the other things, but I think we should check.
Have you thought about this?
Maybe
How long has this place been gone?
100 years, but
100 years.
yeah.
You think
Probably.
a child is just in there, inside a building marked with an X.
It could be a child from Hallow, or it could be maybe the child was like frozen in time and stayed a child for 100 years.
100-year-old child. I mean, that would be a scary fate.
I wouldn't expect it to be a child nor mundane at that point.
Vodder,
What?
are you letting sentimentality cast your judgment?
Please. You hear it again.
No, I guess not.
Does not seem right to me. I don't like it.
Sounds like we don't have the right house.
Can I inspect the door frame and the around the door? Is there anything I can do to ascertain if the door has been shut for a long time? I know it's a bit of a weird ask, because how do you?
How recently was this door opened?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if there's a way to ascertain
No.
that. Like, it's pretty, like, the handle is pretty rusted.
Okay.
The wood is old. It is difficult to tell.
Are there any windows in this house?
Yeah, there's a couple windows. They're pretty dusty and dirty. You can maybe see into them. It might be a little difficult, but
I was gonna say while this is going on to see if I can do anything, can I just like kind of like and like kind of see if I could clean a window and peer inside as Gamora is working on the door?
As you look in, you see what looks to be maybe like a small kitchen area with your. Do you have dark vision actually?
I can cast it on myself,
Okay.
which I will do.
Yeah, if you look in, it's dark, so you might need to cast your dark vision to be able to see.
Okay, so I imagine like I'll peer in and just kind of look really quickly and then back up for a second, and you see her kind of just like blink her eyes a couple times and they just turn black, like lucid black, and she'll peer right back inside.
You see what looks to be it's a single room house. It's not very big. And you can see what looks to be like a kitchen area. There's a table that's been toppled over. There are doors open, like cabinets, and you can see one of them moving. And you can as you're kind of looking, kind of see it, and it goes, as it's kind of just moving on like one hinge, so it's kind of moving on its own. You see a couple dark movements on the ground, and then towards the back, where you assume the more living quarters or like a bed would be, there is some sort of sheet or veil that's just kind of moving in the stillness. And as you're kind of looking in, you hear, "I think they're coming for us."
Whatever is inside is very aware of our presence. It's in the back, behind the veil. And she'll just like tap on the glass when she says that.
Kamora's going to hold her hand up in a like this, basically. And she's going to skulk over to the house over, just the next house over with the next X, and she's going to listen out at that door.
Okay. When you knock on the window, Wisp, you hear a sound. And Kamora, you go up to the next door. There's nothing.
Okay. And then she kind of slinks back past that building and into the one on the other side and does the same.
Okay. Same thing. It's quiet.
Okay. I slink back over to the rest of them and just say,
Can I tap 3 times? Just go and wait on the glass and see if it responds again. So, yeah, I'll tap.
You tap, and then you hear, "Is someone there? Please. I think they're coming."
I don't see any. I can hear them, but I don't see anything. Do I see the veil moving?
Mm-hmm.
Love ghosties.
I love
Where's
this.
what do you see?
It's dark. There's a kitchen. It's a small room. There's a cabinet moving in the back, but there's a sheet, a veil.
A veil?
Whatever is talking to you and me.
It's a sign. It's a sign. It's a sign from Valoon.
What do you mean?
Valoon is the god of the subtle veil, the space between things. So Valoon, they want us to go inside.
Does your god tend to embody the voice of a child?
Sometimes. Sometimes not.
I mean, it did say that they believe something is coming for them. I
Maybe they
don't
need
know.
rescuing. Maybe they're scared, and they need someone to come and help them.
Do you
I
really
don't
think it could be an actual child that has been here that whole time? Do you think that's possible?
Anything's possible.
No.
As you guys are having this conversation, at the door, you hear,
Who is it?
Please. I think they're coming.
We have to open the door.
Kimura backs right up and pulls her main weapon up and is just aiming at the door and backs up.
okay.
Vader is going to reach out to Wisp and say,
Just in case, be careful.
and I'm going to use Vigilant Blessing, which is a trait that I have to give her advantage on the next initiative roll she makes.
Okay.
Until I cast it again, or until after she rolls.
Cool.
Okay.
Knock. Ready yourself.
Knock looks around because he's still trying to figure out what the hell's going on because he doesn't hear anything. He's like, ready. Stands up.
Kimura literally just points at her eyes and then at the door, like gesturing Knock to like focus on the door.
There. What's on the door? What's on the door?
Just when it opens, be ready.
Okay.
Get my Warhammer out, get my shield out just in case. Crouch down real low in the shadows.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the Ukuhara quarterstaff and kind of like ignite it, and I am gonna use like the 5-foot radius of shadow just to kind of like keep me and Vodder in just a little bit more cover. But I'm gonna crouch down and just kind of be to his flank, really.
Mhm.
Yeah. Kimura's fully like down sights, upright, ready.
What's Calder doing?
He's like 20 feet back.
Right in the middle of the street.
After you guys like heard like after the like knocking, like you heard like a shuffle, and he's like fucking.
Yeah.
Have we noticed this? That he's backed off.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed. I'm way
See,
focused on this.
He's not hiding. He's not doing a very good job at hiding. He's hiding behind like some like box or something.
Okay.
Like a.
Is it close enough for Knock to grab?
You can. He's probably he's a number of feet away. You'd have to actually go back and grab him.
Okay.
Kimura's got one arm under and pushing the rifle with her free hand. She just like clicks and then just gestures to Calder to come over.
He very cautiously walks over. Yes, Captain.
Whatever
And
it
he's
is
shaking.
you're capable of doing, get behind the knock and prepare yourself now.
And she's like now focusing heavily on the door whilst talking to him.
You see Calder come up behind you, Nog, and he's grasping his medallion.
And so he looks down at him and goes, "Don't worry, fella. I'll be all the blessings you need."
Who's gonna open this door, y'all?
Yeah, you guys are
I
going
am
for
110%. 110%. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is like I'm crouched low, so I imagine I'm like kind of in like one of those like I've got my quarterstaff, I'm holding it up, but I'm one of those like perch squats. So I'm going to literally just like balance on one leg and turn and like kick it with my foot in the bottom left corner or wherever the corner is to like swing the door open, and then I'm just gonna like stay really low and stay really hunched with my quarterstaff and like almost not moving. It's just gonna be a quick kick and then like return.
In before, can I prep?
Yeah, what are you prepping?
Can I prep literally firing off if I need to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, with all 5 of you, 4.5 prepared, Wisp prepares and kicks open the door with a loud. There's a moment of silence. And you can see Calder kind of perk around, knock. And Wisp, you might even turn in to look into the doorway. All of a sudden, you're as a crow flies out, cawing, and flies all around you guys. And I don't know if that triggers your shot, though, Kimura.
At the moment, they're birds.
It's
Are we?
one bird.
Are we swarmed? No, it's one bird.
It's
one
just
bird.
one crow.
Is it just flying around us?
I'm just swatting.
It's cawing, and then all of a sudden you hear it go, please, please, I think someone's coming. I think someone's coming. And it flies, and it lands on like a dead lamppost, and it sits there, please, and just stares at you.
I need to kill that bird. Now.
I've
never heard of a bird talk like that.
Have I assessed that anyone has throwing weapons?
I do. I have darts.
Okay, I'm gonna gesture to you to.
Okay. So yeah, I immediately, as soon as I say that, and like I get the look from Kimura, like I almost instantly in that like squatted stance position, she just takes from her belt, and I will fire, and I will try to throw a dart right into the heart of that raven.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll an attack.
Do not care.
Destroy the raven.
No.
Let me see. I don't know if that hits.
What? Yeah. What is the AC of a raven?
What's an AC of a bird?
What is the AC of a raven?
I'm so glad you threw a dart at it, because I was going to pick up like a barrel or a fucking.
Yeah, no. I imagine it was just like, she sees that as, for lack of a better word, a bad omen.
Birds are pretty.
They're pretty agile, right?
They're quite dexterous,
Yeah.
aren't they? Yeah.
I don't.
Ravens.
I think they might be like an 11.
Yeah,
Ravens have an AC of 12.
Okay, so I'm gonna
no, I
for the
missed.
sake of stats, it's a
thick bird.
it's a raven. So as you throw it, you miss as maybe you're about to throw it, it turns and like stares dead at you, and you miss, and it's like and it just flies away. Like you just narrowly miss it.
As I see the dark mist, can I swivel and try and?
There's
take a
no
shot?
dark mist. It just turns and looks.
Oh shit! Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there's no dark mist. No, maybe like a fluff of feathers or something, but.
Alright.
Can I take a shot?
Sure. Yeah. If you're yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say this music is destroying me? Right. It's this one. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for damage. I mean, you're gonna kill it, but we'll see how bad you kill it. Like,
Fuck that bird up. Bird up.
Bird up.
are you gonna roll for damage, Isla?
I did. It's come through I rolled an 8 for damage.
Oh, you didn't roll to it. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay, 8. Yeah. So it has 1 HP. So a dart goes past as it looks at Wisp, flies away, and all of a sudden, large echoing of a gunshot, and just a puff of feathers and blood as it just like splatters on the ground into a bloody heap of gore and feathers.
Thanks for that.
Oh,
I survey the area very quickly and then say, "We move from this location."
Because that's second.
Well, why would we move if we just removed the only thing that was causing us any worry? Or you worry?
Did you just hear what they fired?
was loud.
It was very loud. We've announced our position.
Yeah, that's an open invitation.
To who? And she like looks around and just kind of does this like open hand gesture of like
Whatever
what,
that was. Have you ever seen a crow talk before?
No, but
No.
if it was a bird, then I'm not really worried about what could be inside. And she'll step inside.
Vadar's making his way over to the bird, where the remains of the bird, which is a great Daniel Day-Lewis movie, and he's he's going to just find like some rubble or something to like sort of semi-bury the bird, you know,
Okay.
like a little cairn on top
Yeah.
of the, and just sorry bird, just sort of like piles up a little burial mound on top of it.
It turns its head at you. No, I'm just kidding.
And I loot it. No.
and then I loot the raven.
I loot the bird.
Raven.
I take all the pellets. Just knocks over there, just picking away at the bird. I observe him doing the grave, and I say, even for a bird as well, you can do that for an ant, or this millipede, or the man's arm. We have to sit there every time someone dies, you have to go in and give it a grave.
I just felt bad for the bird. I mean, it's just doing bird stuff.
Yeah, well, hopefully that sympathy don't go ahead and cost you anything.
I'm gonna walk into the building behind Wisp.
Okay. You guys enter into a small home with a, as Wisp saw, tables have been toppled over, chairs have been toppled over. There's various broken pottery about. Back behind you see that veil, and it's still moving.
Potter heads over there to the veil for sure to check it out.
You
I'll
see,
I'll
seems
back
like
him up.
It seems like a thin space to him, like a holy space. So he sort of approaches it with that intent.
you can see what looks to be. So there's a, not behind the veil directly, but just off to the side, you see like a small bed that someone could probably use, and then behind the veil, as you maybe move it, I don't know if anybody's going to move the veil.
Oh, I'm definitely going to move the veil.
Okay. You see a crib with it's a very wooden, and it's old and rickety, and there's old blankets. They don't seem to have been like torn or ruined or destroyed or anything, but there's a crib there.
There's any sign of like, I know it's probably been 100 years, but any sign of any violence or harm that came to a person?
Make an investigation check. And anybody who
Okay.
is the kind of looking around, if you guys want to ascertain any of this, you can also make a check.
14. For me.
I'll give it a gander.
I'm just kind of following Vadar at this point. I don't really see much, but I'm just kind of meandering.
I'm surveying.
Nock and Vodder, you, as you're kind of looking around, you don't see any signs of struggle necessarily. There's no, other than the toppled table and the chairs. The bed is, the blankets have been strewn. But there's no, you don't see any scenes or any, just like anything of like that violent would have happened.
Okay.
It's hard to tell what may have happened here.
But no signs of struggle or
Other
No
than
blood or bones
no
or-
blood or bones or anything like that. Other than the toppled furniture and the mismatched, misstrewn furniture. That's all you can tell and all you can see.
Vadar's going to sit on the floor in a space as close to that curtain as he can find, and just sort of sit down there and take one of his rations out and start eating.
Okay.
I'm guessing the other tables, chairs, splintered wood. Knock is going to go to some of those things, break some of the chairs and whatnot, make a little tiny fire, and put that in towards the middle. Do the same. Take out his rations, light fire, and then begin to eat.
Okay.
Sustenance.
So it is getting pretty late at night. I'm starting like it is now. Darkness has fallen as you guys have had this encounter. Is this where you're gonna rest for the night and everything? Is that the plan? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
go
think so.
ahead. You guys can take your hunger and your thirst down one level, or up one level to okay or whatever. Make sure to mark your rations and mark your water rations, which we've decided is two essentially rations, or it's like a ration per day or whatever. But you guys can mark that down. We're not. You guys aren't getting a long rest because we have the different long rest rules. So a long rest is a week. But anything that you would get back on a short rest will come back to you. Are you guys keeping watch, or is anybody doing anything during this downtime?
I would like to firstly reload my rifle.
Okay.
And take up. I will probably take up last watch. But my last watch is 4 hours, so I'll take up the last 4 hours.
If Kimura takes dawn, Vadr would want to take sunset for a few hours while everyone else gets to sleep. 2 or 3 hours, something like that.
I'll fill in whatever holes need to go ahead and jump in there. I can take second watch.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So maybe like 2 hours each or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Power nap.
Who's taking first watch?
That would be me. That would be Vadr.
Okay. Vadr, go ahead and make me a perception check as you take your rest throughout the night. Or your watch throughout the night.
20. Dirty 20.
Okay.
Dirty, nasty 20.
As you kind of sit there looking into this makeshift fire, I mean, you could probably, there's a small fireplace. You could probably even have built the fire in that to let the smoke come out through the chimney and whatnot. Vadr, as you're taking your watch, you begin to hear voices coming from outside.
He's going to creep up close to the window and look out into the courtyard. Now, Vadr doesn't need to cast Dark Vision. He has massive
Right.
Dark Vision. So,
Coming down the northeast road, you see 4 figures. Let me, might change the music again. They're carrying a lantern which illuminates one of them, though they're all wearing similar garb. It was almost difficult for you to tell, but you see darkly cloaked figures wearing some sort of black robe. The thing that catches your eye is one of them as they approach the kind of the center of these cluster of homes. You hear you hear a voice, and it says, "Spread out and look for any others. See if there's anybody about." And the figure pulls up the lantern to its face, and you see like a beak, but it's not like natural. It looks like a mask that they are wearing, and you can see the distinct eyes are like deep purple, and there are feathers coming off the front.
does this mask remind me of anything? Does this have any meaning for me?
Roll a history check.
Okay. That's a 15.
A 15. You've seen maybe some of these masks before, though these ones do look old and dated. They do look like some sort of like doctor's plague mask.
His bugbear wheels are turning in his head, and he's thinking, okay, white X's on doors and abandoned cities and plague doctors, and he's a little bit nervous about that. And so he's going to take a quick look around and scan the group. Is everybody asleep by this point? I don't know
Everybody's
how long-
asleep. Yeah,
Okay.
everybody's probably asleep at this point. And as you're kind of looking about, and you maybe look out the window, one of them points to your guys' camp, like your area, as you now look at the fire, and there's like the smoke is
Smoke's
rising
coming out,
out of the chimney, and they are heading towards the door.
And Vader is racked with indecision about what to do here. So finally, I think after a second or two, he's going to say, there's so many doctors. There are doctors here. And he sort of like shakes everyone awake. And then scuffles over to the door and, like an idiot, throws the door open. There's this bugbear, this like 6.5 foot tall bugbear, standing in the door. And he goes, "Hi."
Kimura literally scrambles to her feet, grabs her rifle, and points it straight at the door.
Okay, so as you bust open the door, there's like a movement, and you see as these doctors pull out like small daggers.
And I put my hands up.
Not bad, no trouble. Just heading into the city.
They kind of look and don't say anything. State your purpose.
We have divided purposes, but we are a group that is exploring the Lost City to learn, and one of us wants a statue.
One of them, like you can see as the four of them are standing there, one of them like turns his head, or turns their head, like in a weird, he goes, outsiders. They don't relax, but they put their weapons down. And the one at the head says, "You are in a dangerous place, outsider. Have you not heard?"
The city, yes, of course, it's mysterious, but we are capable of defending ourselves.
That may be well and true, outsider, but are you aware of this place?
These houses, you mean?
And the ones strewn about all across the old Croak market.
No, I suppose not.
I think by this point, like the rest of the group is kind of
Mm-hmm.
either looking through the windows or crowded into the doorway with him.
Okay. Yeah, and they kind of all like look at you, and like they're kind of eyeing you up.
I still have my hand over my face. And
Still
one
asleep.
eye just one eye just creak when open, looking at the door over towards Vader, hearing the conversation, and I got one hand on my axe.
I'm gonna exit. I'm gonna stand in the doorway for a moment. I'm gonna pause at the doorway in reverence, and then walk out into the street just to be a little bit closer. He says,
Who are you? Are you doctors?
They all kind of bow their heads as you say this, and they say, and the one at the lead says, "Yes, we are the Kyrogen."
Could you spell that for me?
Yes. Let me pull it up myself.
Just for my own edification.
CHIRURGEON.
"Oh, like the old form of surgeon."
Mm-hmm.
So glad Knock can't read or write.
Just excuses you from taking any notes.
And that's I'm over here like,
Oh.
I feel useful.
Which again, well, you know.
You should be careful where you stray, outsiders. This place is dangerous. Not only are there creatures, demons, and such, but there is a plague in the market.
What? What kind of plague?
The worst kind imaginable. The one with no cure.
Oh,
Tell me, have you seen anybody else in your travels?
of course. You mean here in the city?
Yes. Any local denizens of the market?
No, there was a talking bird. A raven. I think it was just mimicking.
They all kind of look about and they bow their heads when you say crow or raven.
Because they're basically the same thing.
We are here to protect those who are sick and those who are not. If you say you have not come across anyone, I do not think it would be a problem if we made sure that you are not sick. It is for your well-being, of course. All of your outsider friends as well.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
22.
Through the eerie weird that these guys are exuding, you don't detect the hint of them wishing any ill will. They do genuinely want to make sure that you are not sick.
Okay.
And he turns around, he walks back to the door. He pauses at the doorway. Next he says,
We're getting checkups.
Knock. His arm slides off. He goes, "No appointments, just sleep," and throws his axe just right into the wall. Just whatever the wall that's adjacent to like whatever the window is, which you can see out of them. So just smashes into the wall.
Okay.
Kimura gestures because she's inside. She hasn't actually come to the door.
Mhm.
She says, "How many?"
There are 4 of them.
We stay inside, one at a time. They come to us.
One of them comes inside.
She nods.
and I turn and I sort of look sort of do the thing where like the door's right here, and I'm like, hi, and sort of like poke my head back out, and I say,
Yep.
It's kind of crowded in here. One of us is very big. Can you come in, maybe just one of you, and give us checkups?
The leader kind of looks about. Check the other buildings. I'll take care of this. And he steps forward.
And as he approaches, Vader holds out his hand and says,
I'm Vader.
He kind of just brushes past you without saying
Okay,
anything.
okay, all right.
And as he steps in, we are going to take a break right there.
Oh.
As we are about halfway through. So
and then we get our physicals.
And then you get your physicals.
You know, check out.
Physical.
Oh my goodness. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes. We're just going to use the restroom, get some drinks. Everybody else can grab snacks and stuff and drinks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But yeah, we will be back in just about 10 minutes. We will see you guys soon.
Bye.
See you soon. And welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, everybody has got their drinks and their snacks. When we left off just 10 minutes ago, you have come across some sort of plague doctor, which you guys were able to convince to let one of them in to check on you. As this doctor enters, he looks around and just gets just kind of a glance about the place, looks at each of you in turn, and looks about, just seeing like the building and the home itself. And then he says, "Right. Whoever would like to go first. I assure you there's nothing. I will not hurt you. We just want to make sure that you are well."
I'll go. I'll go first.
And
So
he takes his shirt off.
that won't be necessary.
Okay, oh, sorry.
He puts it back on.
Have you had any fever recently? As he kind of like brings up a hand, and he takes off a glove and is like checking pulse and like doing like an actual checkup, like checking to make sure you know your head and whatnot.
Can I ask a silly question? When he takes his glove off, is that a human hand underneath?
It does appear to be human.
Okay.
Though like the hand is pale.
Sure.
Very, very pale.
No, no fever. I had a runny nose a few weeks ago. I think it was just allergies. I don't spend a lot of time outside.
Yeah, two of you are.
Yes, sir.
He quickly, finishes and right, that is one down.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you for your service.
Which outsider is next?
No, I'll go.
So he begins looking you over. You can see, as you look, you can see these purple lenses on this mask, and you can say it's made of leather most of the way down. There's bits of metal placed in it, and there's a little bit of white on like down the eyes, like down the front of like the bridge of the, like around the cheeks, and then you can see like again the feathers are like kind of sticking out on the front, and you can vaguely see his eyes blinking through the lenses. And he, as he is looking you over, he says, "So, what brings you to the market?"
Me personally, or our group?
Why do we not say both?
Personally, I'm here as a beacon for my people, to find more knowledge, to seek out what happened. For all of us. And she'll kind of like look around. Right now, we seek a large insect. What was it? A centipede, I believe.
He's checking your pulse, and he stops and he brings his hand down. "You speak of the wretched crawler."
So you've heard of this beast that we seek?
"I have seen it with my own eyes."
And do you know where it dwells?
"Some days to the northwest. Small homestead area. 4 or 5 homes. The creature has made its home there. Most of the citizens died, with those who don't were sick, and we put an end to that. It took one of our own.
You aim to slay this creature.
Yes. There is a bounty on its head, and we plan to take it for ourselves.
Well, I wish you luck in your endeavor. It's one of the biggest things I've seen. 15, 20 feet in length, hundreds of legs, and a temper to match. As he finishes looking you over, who's next?
That would be me. See how Unok sits up, kind of just like wobbles his way over in front of the doctor. Sits. Looks the guy right in the mask.
Do you say anything
heard-
to him? Oh, sorry.
Nope.
We do not see many Goliaths around here.
Said usually you're not gonna find many Goliaths lying around the city. It's not necessarily a domain.
As the mountains are not ours.
Hey, trust me, I've seen plenty of people around here, and none of you as good conditioned as I thought you would be. Spend a month up there, you're gonna freeze your damn knees off.
Well, it seems we're all in our right place.
Oh, absolutely. So, you're a doctor. Somebody who's about his health.
Yes, that is
So
correct.
what you healing?
We are trying to make sure that nobody else gets sick and care for those who are. The people of the market are under our protection.
Your protection.
That is correct.
Okay. And all the people that are around here beforehand, before all the X's got painted on the doors. You here to protect them then? Was that
Some
prior?
of them. Prior.
And, you know, I'm not sure when you were established and whatnot. I mean, I just got here. All right, I'm not sure when exactly you were. It's the old time, city arose, city fell. Prior.
Time is a strange thing. We have been established for some time.
All right.
Do you know why these doors have X's on them?
These were homes to those who were sick.
Oh,
We took them. The ones we could.
is it dangerous for us to sleep here?
You should be all right. Though if you come across a citizen of Vedranis who displays flu-like symptoms, cough, I would stay away.
What if
Some
we
of
were?
them-
What if we wore like a face mask and social distancing?
It might help a little bit, but
Okay, all right, good.
it does not stop.
No.
Those that come with us make their way to the old Croak Asylum, where they are cared for. Though we are quite full, and we've taken up the market to keep some of the people safe. As he waves Kimura over, if you do see anybody who displays hyper-aggression, I would suggest you stay away. Not
Hyper-
only hyper-aggressive, it is
Take a
one of
step
the
away from.
later
I take a step
stages.
away from Knock.
Again, I would keep clear. Do not try to help them, we have that covered. I would suggest just staying away. As he kind of looks at you,
You can see his eyes kind of pierce through the purple lenses. We don't want any trouble with you, so do not come in between us and our patients. I hope I have made myself clear.
Yes.
As he begins kind of looking over Kimura, if you come over.
Do you ever go out into the town of Hallow?
I have no reason for it. No, you're good. You're good.
You're good?
I think you're good for us, at least.
Just a dramatic pause. Oh, okay. All right.
Here's the problem. It's swapped during the interval. I have no idea why. Sorry, anyway. Yeah, and she does walk over and she just kind of gestures as if to say, go on.
He continues looking you over. You have no problem from us, as I said. Unless you come between us and those we care for. He quickly looks over you, Kimura. Maybe not as... He seems kind of put off by your weapon. He kind of brushes you off a little bit quicker than the rest. And he waves over Calder. He kind of like shakes his head as Calder approaches, like, you outsiders are all the same. And he stops when Calder gets next to him. And just looks at him for a moment before telling him to sit down. Calder and sits kind of like, I think that's Mike, yeah. He Calder just kind of like shifting in his seat as he kind of looks over, as the doctor looks over Calder. Very interesting. Very well. He stands up. I wish you all good fortune in your adventure against this wretched crawler.
Wait. Before you go, there is a man, a follower of Imera in Hallow. His name is Kyron. He's very sick with the curious disease. I don't. You have your hands full with these people, but if you know of anything that could help, or a place where we could find something that could heal him.
I would not be able to make I would not be able to know unless I saw the patient.
Yes.
If you could bring him to the asylum, I'm sure we could look over him. What are his symptoms?
It's hard to say. He is racked with pain. He's a young man, but he carries himself like an elderly person.
Decrepit.
Sure, decrepit. Yeah, good. And he's all wrapped up and he wears kind of a metal suit. That's all we know.
Very interesting. As I said, bring him to the asylum. I'm sure Sigismund would take a look at him.
Sigismund?
Sigismund, our leader. The head doctor of the asylum.
Okay, I'll let him know. Thank you.
The asylum is 4 days to the northeast of here. If you come with good intentions, I'm sure you will be fine.
Got it. Thank you. And thank you for this checkup. So we're all healthy?
No. I will not keep you any longer. Good night. And he turns and walks out.
Well, that was the most interesting midnight doctor's appointment I've ever got in my life.
How many midnight doctor's appointments have you had?
That's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least we know they do house calls now.
You should go back to sleep. I'll keep watch a while longer.
Very precarious, them gentlemen. I'm gonna do exactly that there, voter. I'm gonna take me a big old nap.
Okay, night-night.
It's the only kind of nap you take.
Calder kind of sits there. And, yes, and he kind of stands up and kind of goes back to where he was resting. The rest of your watch goes uneventful.
Sweet.
Throughout the night, for the rest of you, is there anything specific you guys wanted to do during your respective watches?
Is there on the upper level? Is there a window overlooking the road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would want to take my watch up there.
Okay.
Just with the rifle just kind of nooked on the window, just watching the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing
Make
up
me.
mine.
Okay. Wisp.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to do particular during your watch?
No, the only thing that I think that Wisp would do would be I want to look around the house. Like, I want to just kind of like peruse, look under the cabinets, kind of look in, not to like see if there's anything that she can loot, but just to discern like who these people were.
Okay.
She's just it's just a curious thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a investigation check. 18. As you're kind of milling about, you see a small, almost like it's a proper like sketched like portrait. It's been kind of torn and whatnot, of a family. You see a mother, a younger child, probably 7 years old, and then the mother is carrying an infant in her arms. As you continue your perusing, hidden underneath the bed, you see a tattered leather-bound book. The pages are yellow, and it looks very, very worn.
I would like to take it and open it and see if I can discern what it might be.
It looks to be a journal. And they just have days. There's no year written in these. There's not many pages filled. But it looks to be it's almost difficult to read, because it's in a young child's hand. And you read through some basic stuff like mom went out for groceries and some strange person came by. Description, it seems to be a description of a Kyrogen. Said they wanted to help. And then like the next page is, I asked mom about dad and she wouldn't tell me anything. And then as you progress, it says, mom isn't feeling well. She stays in bed all day. And then the next one is the Kyrogen, or it wouldn't be Kyrogen, I guess it's like an 8-year-old. The doctors came by today and took mom. I tried to go with, but they pushed me away, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then it says, I'm going to try to find Dad. And that's the last page.
Okay. She'll take the journal
Okay.
and kind of like absentmindedly put it in her belongings, which is a little unlike her. She's not one to take things and just keep them, but this seems like it could be something. So she takes it and puts it in her belongings and just kind of like goes back to her mat to just wait out the remainder of her watch.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You can mark that on your inventory. I will create a lore item for you. That will kind of like have a little bit more detail about it. Because
Sure.
this is kind of one of the things about learning about the world is finding things, right? So I will create one and have it for you
Cool.
before next episode.
Yay. I'm excited.
Kimura, as you're taking a watch up in the loft and you're looking out the window, give me a perception check.
Okie skurky. 15.
Okay. You hear some weird, strange noises. They're hard to place. It sounds like some sort of squeal. It's kind of it's pretty off-putting when you hear it. It kind of like cuts through the darkness and the silence.
Is it foxes? It's definitely foxes.
It's hard to roll a nature check.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, 16. Okay.
It sounds like the squealing of a hog.
Oh. Oh.
Breakfast.
Okay.
It's coming some. It's distant, but distant
Okay.
enough that you can make it out, but you don't see anything. You just hear it for a little bit, and then it goes silent again.
Possible to ascertain direction? Or is it literally just like echoing across the...
It's just echoing across. Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
difficult to tell.
Well, that's strange. Okay, cool. All right, noted.
Okay. The rest of the night passes. I can not play creepy music anymore. I mean, less creepy music, but you guys all wake up relatively refreshed. The encounter with the Kyrogen was pretty early on, so and where we're not doing long rests as far as an overnight, you guys were able to get a good night's rest relatively, and wake up in the morning a little hungry, a little thirsty, but pretty well for the most part.
What's the deal? We only killed one bird. It's a damn good night. Sounds like a damn good night.
We're 1-0.
What? Oh my god.
So because we've woken up, do we add a level of hunger
And thirst.
and thirst?
Yes, correct.
Got it. Okay.
So all of you can do that, and then whatever you want to do before setting out again.
Wisp is gonna limber up. She's gonna do her morning meditation. She's gonna limber up. She's gonna take some of those darts that she's got and just do like some quick practice at the wall, kind of like what oh my goodness, why can I keep thinking G-Lo. It's not G-Lo Brown. That's not the name of your barbarian. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Nope, it's Gila.
It's Gilo now.
Oh my god, knock. Fucking knock. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the same wall that knock through his accent. She's like kind of just like doing kind of dart practice.
Okay.
Just until everybody wakes up. Gets acclimated and ready.
Okay. Perfect.
I can't wait to kill my first creature. It's getting stomped on its chest and be like, "I, Gilo Brown." It's gonna be great. God, Naka's going to adorn his chest, the chest piece to his leather armor, and then he's going to check to make sure none of his trinkets are falling out. Go walk outside and do some limber up axe swings. Very loud grunts in the middle of the street, just swinging his axe around. Then burn up for the day.
Kimura actually walks in through the front door. And
In?
yes, she does her early morning routine, and she was only outside the front. She didn't go wandering.
Oh, okay.
She was just out like grabbing the air. It's kind of part of her little thing, and just walks in and just nods at everyone, and then goes back to it.
Perfect.
Bird.
Okay. So you guys do your morning preparations, and when you are ready, you may continue on your journey on the map as you so choose.
Right. So we still heading north, right there, voter. That's the map says,
Yeah.
right? Head north.
And you can look at you can look at the map, and there are some roads on there that you can kind of follow and whatnot that might help you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood stuff correctly, Cole. So, like, the original said northeast at the fork, and then these doctor folks said northwest.
So
northwest
yeah,
is
so
the homestead.
yeah, so northeast is
right.
towards the asylum.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Northeast is the asylum. Okay. And northwest to the bug.
Right.
All right.
Yes, we're ready now.
Let's head out. And so we're all our fatigue is gone, right?
Yeah, so you don't have any technical like your fatigue would go back because you rested. So you should be at the okay level because you guys haven't missed any sleep or anything like that.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
And
I agree.
get marching same order to the northwest.
See. Party? In cahoots?
Boop.
Onward.
So Cole, I'm sure folks at home are wondering which cat is that?
This is
Boba?
of course it is Boba. He is my loud boy. He is going to be the big bad evil character of the campaign.
Aww.
Yep. So
I expect all the kitty pets
We
while you're
just-
monologuing.
need him to calm down so he's not so loud. So yeah, you can move on the map now if you want, and and we can kind of as you guys want to progress. So
Okay. So that's where we are now. So we'll go northwest like this. Is that right? Cool.
yep. As far as you're aware.
Okay.
And can you guys see that hex? Like, is it?
It's pretty dark.
Is it? But can you? Is it?
Yeah.
Has it lit up for you?
Yes.
Theoretically.
Okay. Let me see if I can give you a little bit more light.
Sure. Yeah, that's
Oh,
better.
there you go. That's way better, yeah.
So you can kind of see into other hexes, but so how this will work for you guys and for everybody at home. This is a hex crawl campaign, so you guys will be traveling throughout the city and whatnot. When you come to points of interest, there will be colored hexes. So that way, when and certain colors will reflect certain things, which you guys will learn a little bit about as you guys continue on. So, but there's that.
Okay.
As you guys continue, this half of the day and most of this day actually are rather uneventful as you guys continue on. You guys are left here really your own devices. You can mark a level of hunger and thirst as well as you guys continue on your day. Or not hunger and thirst. It would be fatigue. You already marked the hunger and thirst for earlier this morning, so it would be fatigue. So, but yeah, if there's anything like you guys want to do or say or anything, as you guys are traveling, this is your time to do whatever you feel like you want.
Vador just walks quietly, observing.
Okay.
Kimura actually doesn't turn to Calder. Just keeps... What she does when she walks, she scans a lot. And you'll notice that sometimes not even her head moves, it's just kind of her eyes move a lot. And then if we're passing an intersection, she'll kind of look both ways before crossing the street, sort of thing. But while she's doing that, she kind of says to Calder, "So why exactly are you following us around? What is it?"
I'm not sure I know exactly what you mean. I want to explore Vedranis as we all do, and after the everything happened with wolves and everything, I figured you lot were the best to stick around. You know.
So we are security detail. For you.
I was going to say co-adventurers of say security detail. No, I would not say that. No.
I don't know. What do you think, Nock? Do you think this man is co-adventurer?
It's a co-adventurer. Listen, if he decides he's gonna go ahead and pull his weight, then fine. He can go ahead and be with us if he wants. Now, security? We ain't security, fella. At the end of the day...
I'm not the security. She is saying that you're the security for me.
Oh, no, I said we are not the security.
No, I agree with you. No, no, you are not.
That's right. That's right. Remember, at the end of the day, if I'm out here and there's new wolves that come around, you better go ahead and take on at least one yourself. All right?
I can certainly do that. Yeah.
So
I think I killed one when we were fighting those wolves before we got to the city.
Not claps with his very big hands. Do you want a statue now, like that man? You can be standing on one wolf carcass. That's your achievement. That's what you'll be known for. The one guy that killed a wolf outside of the city. Carry your weight. And then he looks over and he says, "That's actually a valid question. Why is everybody else here in Vedranis? What the hell are y'all here for? Why'd you get on that carriage?"
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm looking for signs of the lost gods, especially Velun. Clues about how they worshipped and what happened when the city disappeared. It's more of a theological academic expedition than anything else.
So gods.
Yes.
I ain't one but too educated on gods.
Well, I could educate you. I know a little bit about some of them. There are... Well, I'll just start rambling if I start now. But,
You said,
they're called...
You're to ramble on about your gods.
Uh-huh.
How long that list?
It's not that long. There are 1, 2.
He sort of counts on his hand. He says,
There are 1, 2, 3, 9.
yes, I was just counting.
There are 9. The Lost Gods, and they're called the Lost Gods because when the city disappeared, so did most of their followers.
So you're trying to find what's now lost, and hopefully you'll be the one that makes them found.
Well, I mean, something that's lost is just, hidden.
And that's
behind a
going to
veil.
attain. Yes.
Yeah, have you ever lost your big axe?
No, I never go anywhere without this axe.
Okay. But if you did lose it, you would know it was still out there somewhere.
Well, I would hope that I would never go ahead and lose it, but if I did, you're right. I'd
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah, you'd find it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of nodding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Nock looks down to, I'm not sure if you're on my left or my right, but to Wisp. And how about
Somewhere.
yourself?
Me, I'm on a pilgrimage to find the thing my people call Ikuhara. Some call it shadow. It is what... Yes, it is what we study, what we embody. It is why I fight and how I fight. And my people believe it might reside or have lineage to its whereabouts or inklings to where it could be, what it could be here in the city. I'm here to find it. Bring it back to my people.
You think it's here in Vedranis?
I am not so sure, but many of my people believe it is here. So I've took it upon myself to figure it out. See if what they believe is true.
Pilgrimage. For your people. Somebody trying to go ahead and shake hands with the gods. And how about you then, Captain? You come here to fight an army.
She looks around a little bit. And she just says,
I'm looking for what is left.
What exactly are you trying to find? What do you think's left? Because there ain't too much around here.
she taps her leather shoulder pauldron, and there's an insignia on it.
I suppose if you have been in the mountains for a long time, you would not know. Have you not seen this mark before?
Can't say that I have.
It is the mark of the Onyx Legion. Before the city came back from wherever it came back from, this is where we were based. So I'm looking for what is left.
Where were you when it disappeared?
Not here, evidently.
One trying to find what is lost. Everyone out here trying to find something that they either lost or needs to be found. Oh, I see.
What about you?
And me personally, they've other.
Or Calder, he hasn't talked yet.
I'm curious to see what Nock has to say.
I came here far, far from the mountain. Nock of the Thunakalathi. Exiled. Chieftain.
Exile.
I came here with one thing in mind and one thing only. My same mission ever since I descended from that peak. Attain glory. Or acquire glory. Attain currency. The only thing that I came here to do is to make sure that I put enough upon my belt, upon my name, so that I can restore my status back in my tribe, my clan. So I come to this godforsaken city, where demons and other things are like mysteries like you all are looking for. So I can go ahead and crack them open and hopefully find myself one of these giant bugs, or dragon, or something to go ahead to make my people accept me as their chieftain once more.
You think there's dragons here? He kind of
Maybe.
looks like terrified.
Knock looks at a big belly laugh. Hopefully there, fella. Slaps him on the shoulder. Really hard enough to knock him to the ground.
Yeah. It's like, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Valder
I-
helps him up and leans in. He says,
Don't worry, there's probably not dragons.
Oh,
But there might be.
I hope there are not. But anyway,
Speak
You-
up, tell them why you're here.
Have to be prepared for any danger. Calder, surely.
Coulter, you have to be looking for something. Why are you here?
He kind of stops and looks. I am here to seek adventure.
Just like Knock.
Yeah.
You want
I-
glory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna tell you what are you trying to go ahead and accomplish, huh? What about a glory you trying to attain? You got one guy looking for gods, another one on a pilgrimage, another one trying to find an army. How about you?
I want to defeat something bigger than a wolf.
A bear?
That would be bigger than a wolf, so I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And he kind of just seems to be like whatever, like he's just like agreeing with everything.
But why? Why Vedranis? Why not the caves of Antigor or Terisk Bay? Why Vedranis? There are plenty of places that have things much bigger than wolves. Nock here is a prime example.
It's very big.
I suppose I never really
Thought about it?
So you can fight me if you want to.
no, I wouldn't dream of it. No. No, yes. To prove my worth.
I bet we'll find a chance for you to do that.
I hope so.
I think steady pace to and fro. I mean, the map. Are we near any? Did I see a river or water or no? My brain just lit a brain.
That's a street on the map itself. If you wanted to try to find like a river or something, you might have to make a roll.
I'm just very curious to see if this place has any bridges or water or anything else. I'll make a roll. I'm just gonna take a peek as we're walking through the different alleyways. If I see like any bridge or anything else like that, I'll be able to be sewage or whatever. Anything that looks like a water formation.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a survival check.
Alright. This spooky
16.
music makes my butthole clench, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I went to go roll for a fucking. It said survival. Did I do that right? Did I do that wrong?
No, you got it right.
Okay, all right. I didn't hear go on. But goddamn, this music. All right.
So you don't see any rivers or bodies of water or anything like that. You do see wells every so often that you might be able to see if you can get water from. But as far as like bridges and actual like big bodies of water, you're not seeing anything, at least in this area.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it was more like a city river street. If there is wells, Nock is going to ask the party, does anybody need any more water? Are you good for right now?
Mechanics question: how much water does our water skin?
How
How we decided?
I seem to recall it was 2 days worth.
Okay.
Oh, well, probably we'll need some more tomorrow. There's probably other wells, though.
He says, All right, well, let's keep moving then.
Okay.
So you guys travel the rest of the day, and make rest throughout the night. Is uneventful as far as since the day prior. So you guys can go ahead and mark a ration off, and your fatigue can go back up because we'll try to push through the that day at least, because nothing super exciting befalls you guys continue to travel along this road. When you wake up the next morning, you are awoken by a heavy thunderstorm.
Yeah.
My snap
Training.
open. Yeah.
So we're all encamped outside or
I assume you probably would have made it like another camp inside.
inside somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, unless you're specifically saying you're outside, I'm assuming you're probably going to find like a rundown building or home or something to stay the night in.
Are we?
Can-
Oh, go on.
Oh, can I look outside? Does this rain look acidic at all? Does it look like it's harming the ground as it falls?
Make well, as you kind of look about, there's not much plant life to really be seen. You just see a couple like baby weeds or something, some small plant life creeping up through the cobblestones, and it seems to be taking it just fine. It doesn't seem to be. It's not like instantly dying or anything like that.
Okay.
Is this like first thing in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kimura did not come in through the front door of the building that we stayed in. She was already inside.
As you guys kind of like maybe look out the window or up the sky, it seems the sky has changed from like a kind of sort of from that brackish green color and brown, but it's definitely like, you know, like gray and black, and you can see clouds moving about overhead. It looks like a pretty heavy thunderstorm that probably is going to last for a while.
Do you think this is going to slow us down?
He asks everyone in general.
Probably.
It's a rain, snow. No matter what the weather was on the mountain, we still did what needed to be done during the day. But,
Yeah.
and again, I ain't gonna talk about your fragile natures.
No. I don't like being wet.
I turn to knock when he mentions fragile natures. I just stare at him and just shake my head as if to say, I'll go out.
Yeah, is that really that? Yeah.
Right.
So I am going to stand up and grab my axe and start to walk outside to go take a look. Well, if there's anything else around while we're all awake. So I'm gonna announce that to everybody. I'm gonna take a step outside to see if there's anything else going and bumping around in the night other than the sky.
As you take a step out, kind of look up at the sky, maybe put your hand out. Seems to be just any old thunderstorm that you would have experienced up on the mountain.
All right.
Nothing that you couldn't handle.
So
You don't feel like any burning, nothing like that.
So nothing around or anything of that sort in the sense of any people or anything. The one I can
You have other than the Kyrogen, you have not encountered anybody.
That's stinky. That has stinkiness written all over it. Okay, I'm gonna make a just gonna take a deep out further into the rain. Just gonna go ahead and make a perception check and see if I can see anything.
I'm gonna peek the door and keep an eye on knock as he just gonna make sure that he's not out of sight.
Do I see a thing?
There's a little bit of a fog creeping in. It is difficult to really see. You can see, I mean, probably 20 feet around you.
Okay.
But other than that, it's kind of hard to even hear because the thunder is clapping and whatnot like that. It's hard to hear anything other than your own voice and the rain and thunder around you.
All right. I'm gonna then 180 back, walk, arm, shoulder, thigh, leg, knee in, walks into the building, and looks at everyone and says, "This is just what you would consider an average storm. Ain't nothing going on here but a little bit of a drizzle."
Okay.
So unless you all want to go ahead and take a peek yourself, I'm gonna go ahead and get some more sleep.
I want to get moving as soon as we can. I don't want to lose rations, water. That's smart, right, Captain?
Yeah, if it's beginning of the morning, she'll nod and be like, "We move when we can.
All
We
right.
have limited supplies."
Yes.
Shall we leave as soon as the storm is done? Clear
I say
skies.
so. Yeah.
Cole, can I head outside and see if I can see any clearance in the clouds whatsoever in the distance?
Yeah, go ahead and make a
Meteorology
perception or meteorology check. Either perception or nature. I'm gonna let you decide.
I would like perception.
Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I did not like perception.
A 9. There is no break in the clouds
Okay.
whatsoever. It is grim. It's dark. It's hard to see.
Okay.
And it's like I said, it's a heavy rainfall. Like you step out for a second and you're already soaked.
I come back in. We will wait a short while. Any longer, we lose time. I wouldn't want you to get soggy.
I don't like soggy.
No, I don't like. My fur starts to smell weird.
Knock looks up and goes, just turns to snow.
A wet bugbear smell. It's not great. That's
Thank
why I
God.
don't bathe often.
I think Uncle Goliaths don't have any fur. The stench isn't necessarily trying to stay.
Yeah,
Should
it just
I-
runs right off.
Did you get something figured out there, fella?
Can I ask a question, Cole?
Yes. Please.
Back to sort of mechanics. So it's a new morning.
Mhm.
Are hunger, thirst, and fatigue, are they all at like base level now?
So at dawn, your hunger and thirst go down by 1.
Down meaning to like peckish and
Yes.
parched?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got it. That's all I want to know.
So you guys are gonna wait out the storm?
Just gonna wait a little bit to see if it lightens up at all. Maybe like I would say less than an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
yeah. I would. That is what I would advise.
Agreed.
Our first agreement.
You. So how? So
Burger.
you said you're gonna wait till the afternoon, or
Whenever the storm seems to be
Yeah.
writing itself out.
If we,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, Kimura's just gonna kind of dock out every hour or what we perceive as an hour, just to see how it's easing up.
Yeah, leave on pre-drizzle.
It
Yeah,
takes 5 hours for the weather to clear up enough where you think you might want to travel.
Okay, so I've
But-
peeked the head out, and I just peek the head back in. Go. All right, now we double time.
So I would say, so since it's about noon, oh goodness, I just refreshed my page and my music just cut up. Mark a level of fatigue as you guys have been kind of hanging out, since it's midday now, and you guys
Can
are.
I say during?
Mhm.
Can I say during this time I challenged Nock to a push-up contest?
Oh, bring that shit on! So he just immediately just drops down. He just starts pushing the earth down.
Okay.
Can we roll a strength check to see who actually wins the push-up contest, though? I feel like we have to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna win this because she has a -1 to strength, but she wants to do this anyways.
Do it.
Can I get in on this as somebody who does push-ups every morning?
Bring it on.
Kimura, I mean,
Yeah.
not me.
I'm going to read a book.
mental
And
push-ups.
Calder's like, I'm just going to watch.
Mental push-ups.
Yeah, I'll roll for strength.
So what do you
There you
want? Is strength just a straight-up strength check?
Straight up strength
Yeah.
check. Strength check.
Are both Kimura and Wisp -1?
Yeah, appropriate rolling, thematic rolling.
Oh my god.
That could have been
Get in there.
worse. That could have been worse. I got 10.
That first one is where it was at, not that second one.
Right. So, Wisp, you're not used to. I mean, you do push-ups, but like the amount and like the ferocity that
Yeah,
Nock
I
does
think-
push-ups, you can't keep up. He's doing like 3 for your like 1, maybe.
So,
'cause he's
yeah,
like,
I-
Jackhammer.
What it looks like, so like when Wisp is doing her push-ups, she's like doing the yoga push-up where she breathes and then she gives it a moment and then she comes up and then she breathes and then she goes down. Like she's doing a yoga push-up, and in between, like you just see Nock just going like
Just my chest smashing into the earth.
And I imagine like I look over and like I look confused because like I've grown up in a monastery. I didn't know that people did push-ups like their
intensely.
life depended on it. Yeah. So she's just like, why do you go so fast?
You said this was a competition.
As my chest is hitting the ground, I'm leaving like pectoral marks like in the earth, like in the cobblestone. Physical vibrations on the earth is messing up everybody else's fucking push-ups too. God damn it.
It's like as Vonder's trying to read, there's like a little shake.
It's like when he was on the wagon, and every time the wagon made a bump, you go ooh.
Oh my god. Exactly.
Well, I think we are fully limbered up now. We are ready to tackle the fucking day.
All right. Perfect. Well, you guys are free to travel now as the rain has let up some. You're free to move your wherever you want to move that little token of you guys.
Can I get the honor of moving the tokens? I just feel like a cool
Yeah.
kid.
We're going to the northwest.
No, we're going northwest.
Well, you are. So I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna help give
Help us.
like little tips just because. If you get lost next time, you're just getting lost, and that's gonna be fun. You're
fun.
told to follow the road.
Oh, and this is the road right here.
I don't know what you're pointing at.
So
The
you mean
line?
Yeah, hold on.
north of the map. So
Yeah.
That right there.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the road, not this part over here.
That's a
not
different
a
road. It is a
Oh,
road, but
okay.
it's a different
Follow
road.
the-
So we were told to follow the main road.
And you're told to
Okay.
exactly. Follow the main road till you see the fork in the road.
I keep forgetting in a hex crawl, straight is technically like a staircase. You gotta like.
Yeah.
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 Okay, cool.
Okay.
So you guys travel for another. You're only able to get. It's probably about, since it's 5 hours. I'd say it's like, roughly speaking, like 1 in the afternoon. By the time you actually set off, so you guys do get a late start. And as you guys, it's starting to get dark. And the rain does pick up a bit, some as like kind of like a secondary storm rolls in. Go ahead and everybody roll me a perception check.
Ooh, my eyes.
Ooh.
That's a 24 from
Oh
Vodder.
no.
Hot dog.
My rolls are terrible today. Oof.
16.
Vodder, Wisp, and Nock, you all see through some of the fog. You see lights peeking through the darkness. Some maybe like a quarter mile ahead of you. The fog's lifted enough you guys can see decently, especially with your dark vision. It definitely peeks out.
Yeah. I mean, we all pointed out to each other and assumed that Kimura sees it too. Even though she's probably watching our 6.
Be careful how much stereotypical military lingo I use in a campaign like this. I got your stick, stay frosty. No, it's yeah. I was too busy scanning to focus what was directly ahead, and then I get like tunnel visioned onto it when somebody points it out.
Yep.
If I can see it, can I make it out after they point it out, or
If you squint real hard.
if I squint real hard? Okay. Yeah. got it.
Lights. Some sort of a settlement. The doctor, the chirurgeon, said that the centipede is in a place with a bunch of homes. Do you think that's it?
Well, if the homes are of people that don't live there anymore, why would there be lights on?
That's a good question.
Unless the centipede's gone ahead and lighting candles.
It does have hundreds of arms.
It's achieved sentience.
It can't. No, it can't. It's one step away from civilization. Let's go put an end to that right now.
No, we've got to. I would still rather rest tonight before we move on to the settlement. I'm sleepy.
Knock looks at how close the village is and looks back to Voter and his hopefully very tired eyes. All right, fine. You win the day.
It's my tired face. It's my tired face.
Okay. Just to be safe, you know?
So I agree. Be better at full strength to go ahead and deal with this monstrosity if it happens to be over there.
Uh-huh.
Does everybody else feel the same?
Yeah.
Makes
Good idea.
And I would say as well, everybody mark your hunger, thirst, and fatigue up or down 1. You guys are starting to get hungry and pretty tired.
So for clarification, we're all at hungry, thirsty, and sleepy. Or should we be at very sleepy or tired?
You should be at
Because I'm at sleepy.
yeah, because it would be
understanding.
peckish. Peckish and parched was your morning, so you
Mhm.
should be at hungry, thirsty, and very sleepy.
Okay.
Okay.
So at this point, you guys would have a level of exhaustion.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we would.
Good
I
to know.
seen it. I
So,
seen you.
confirm speed halved.
It is on this one. So on your exhaustion effects, you can see a table below.
Oh,
It is
disadvantage.
disadvantage on ability checks.
Right, speed halve will be next. Okay.
Heard the bird.
Alrighty then.
And so you guys kind of like are you guys heading towards the lights then?
No.
No, this is that we're getting our rest, right? We're making camp.
wanna
So
rest
what?
first.
So for clarification, you were told the homestead was 4 days away. You guys have only traveled 3. So as far as the map is going, you're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's a silence.
Ooh.
So
All
if
right,
that changes anything, I just want to.
Food? Food now or food when we wake up?
I say while we still have at least some light or some day left, that we try and see if we can find anything a little bit more sustainable than the rations while we have some time.
Yeah. Good idea. Maybe an animal or maybe there's some food left in these houses.
There's got to be something.
Sounds good to me. Grab my axe, stand up, I start walking over towards. See where there'll be eastern houses, the grouping that's on the right side.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with knock.
Okay.
I'm gonna gesture for the rest to come with. I'd rather people not get too split.
Gung ho guy, sorry. Go with that range.
Follow the giant.
Yeah, no, follow him.
Follow the jackhammer.
So you guys begin kind of milling about these these dark homes, and the light is, you're losing light quickly. While you guys are taking time to maybe look for food or whatnot, you hear a scream echo out of the darkness in the direction of the lights that you saw.
Lady scream? Male scream?
It seems to be a woman's scream.
Non-binary. Okay.
My, you were about to. Lol. Let's see.
Kimura immediately just does a head count.
Yeah, you're all there. Calder's there with you as well.
Okay.
What direction did this scream come from?
From the lights.
If we went east, was it going any further north where we were supposed to be going, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So like towards the lights that you guys saw.
All right.
Vader thinks for a moment about sentimentality and the warnings he got earlier, and then starts running to the north.
Wait, that's.
I'll run after him.
I'm.
Towards the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna start sprinting like.
Naruto running right now.
Towards Voda. It's
No.
towards not towards the screaming. It's towards. Yeah, for clarification.
Yeah. Nakas is kind of looking confused, like, you're running towards the screaming in a town that just came out of the damn earth.
And then he turns around. He turns around and he yells back. He says, "There's glory this way."
Nakas grabs his...
Kimura's gonna just be screaming after, like, "God damn it, Voda! No, you do not know what is up our heads. Halt!"
He's gonna head that direction, towards the noise. But as soon as he gets close enough, he wants to make another sort of perception check to see if he can see any threats up ahead.
Okay, how close are you getting towards like the lights? I guess.
So we were like a quarter mile, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like half that. Yeah, like he's gonna cut it down to like an eighth of a mile, I guess, and just sort of look up ahead to see if he can see any movement, any threat, anything like that.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. And remember, you are at disadvantage because it's
Here
tiring.
A 23.
Oh my. Okay. You see several lights coming. This is a surprise to you, as it's the first time you've seen it. You see some light coming from buildings.
Okay.
There seems to be like a circle or square of buildings that you're approaching. You also see what looks to be like lantern light and some torch light. As you can see, like flickering shadows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't make out anything out other than
movement.
Not that you can see from this far away. You're a little
Okay.
far away to see movement.
He's gonna sort of hold up and wait for the rest of the group to catch up, whoever followed him.
Having been
I-
running quite fast, if I can, I would be pegging it.
I am running up along as well, and as I approach the group, I will cast Pass Without a Trace on myself. So kind of like I'll run up, and as soon as I run up, you see me do kind of like one of those very agile type of martial arts like jumps. And as I do that, I wave my hand, and for a small moment, there's just like this cast of shadow over me. And then it kind of seeps from down my body onto the ground around me, and everyone around me in a 30-foot radius also has Pass Without a Trace.
Hell yeah.
So it's just like this lingering fog that just kind of like hangs
I
out at
love
everybody's feet.
As you guys kind of, you get off me. You guys will all have plus 10 to your to your stealth checks with Pass Without a Trace.
There's fucking giant dude doing stealth. I'm sorry. Just forget.
As long as you're within the fog around me, yep.
I catch up to Voda, and obviously I can't whip him around because he's much bigger than I am.
Uh-huh.
I kind of like grab his arm and like
I don't move.
look. I go round and look
What?
up at him and I go, "What do you think you're doing?"
Someone is in trouble.
Right, and if we do not figure out what is going on, you run straight into it. We will all be in trouble, potentially.
No, no, now I'm going to be quiet. It would be best if Wisp and I went forward first.
Discuss before you execute, or
He's
you will
just-
find we all end up in trouble.
Okay,
Fine. Do what you must.
I will.
First time
Maybe
you
I
travel,
won't.
make sure... You sentimentals. Focus on the task at hand.
Okay.
Okay. So are Wisp and Vodder approaching?
That's what Vader wants to do. He wants to take
Yeah.
Wisp and the Pass Without Trace, and I mean, he with her next to him, he's basically invisible. With his Pass
Yeah.
Without Trace on.
Yeah.
And he
yeah,
knows that.
so I'll take out my shadow quarterstaff as well, just to have something in my hand, but I will, we'll kind of, I'll mimic his movements from the opposite side and we'll kind of flank
I see.
together.
Okay, perfect.
Would it be appropriate? Nock is going to look to Kimura and say, "Vantage point."
Can I? Is the fog still here from earlier?
It's a little bit.
Okay. I would like to get an idea of a vantage point. I'm going to use my boots for this.
Okay.
I'd look up at Nock and go, "I'll find us something," and
All right.
and I just start I start elevating myself into the air.
So as you are sitting here, Nock, all of a sudden you see Kimura begin flying into the air.
And Nock looks up and goes, "I was going to put you on the rooftops." Are you moving? Come on, are you moving? That's why I was asking you vantage points and be like,
I didn't do like an Iron Man. Poof. I kind of started floating up. So I mean,
so
I
like M.
want to.
Bison from Street Fighter.
I kind of. I mean, not that I want to tell you what to do, but you could easily just reach up, just gently grab my leg and pull me back down.
No, I'm going to watch you fly. I'm going to tell you this. And like, I was going to put you up on the roof, but obviously you got that handle. And it's gonna.
Poor Knock. Left there.
You feel a tug at your armor, and you see Calder sitting there, and he's like, you could lift me up if you needed someone to take a look out for you."
He looks up at Kimura floating up, looks down at him and goes, "Vantage point." Scoops him up, puts him on the shoulder. And I'm just gonna, depending on now, you two, are you going straight down the road, like just straight down the road being invisible?
Basically,
Yeah, we're
that
trying
is
to
what I
stick to
assume.
shadows.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to shadows. I don't know if there's any like. It looks like there's like some buildings and stuff. So maybe if we can like creep around the sides of buildings together and just stay in unison. I'm trying to match whatever movements he's making, so he's in the lead.
Yeah, go ahead, and you two make me stealth checks for sure.
Sure.
Cool.
Now, we're at disadvantage because of exhaustion.
Right.
So it's a
you
straight
have it-
roll.
A straight roll for me because I'm at advantage. So it's a straight
Yeah,
roll plus
exactly. Yeah.
that's a 28 for me.
And a
And-
32.
Did you roll at disadvantage?
I did. Oh, I wouldn't be. I would be a straight roll.
Right, you would Wisp.
Oh, I would be disadvantaged. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
because you're
give me a second.
tired. Does that even fucking
It's still a
matter?
30.
A 30 and a
28.
28. You guys, Nock, as you're watching, you're like going to turn back to talk to Vodder or like see Vodder and Wisp. They're gone.
We are the shadow.
They have disappeared into the shadows.
But you got Calder.
So I take Calder. Kimura, where are you? You up on going towards like the roofs? Are you on the roofs floating up there already? Because I might just like hoist him up to that point, so he's up there. Like give him a little shock put, like yeah, if I can get him up there.
I go probably a story or two above the general roof area, so I can get like a full lay. I don't stay up there too long. Once I've kind of perceived what I want to perceive, I'll head back down to where you are.
Okay, I'm actually gonna move up like a house or two from where she is, and I'm going to then shot put Calder up to the roof of that building.
Okay, not hard for you. Most of these buildings are like
I was gonna ask how
a few feet taller than you are, so it is not difficult to just go.
Talking like a full rotation. Anyone that knows track, just like
yeah. And he like and like grasp on like onto the wood shingles and like starts slipping in, has to like literally just like hold on to the roof because it's so wet. And I don't know if any of you have ever been on wood shingles when they are wet.
The worst.
You're not staying on it. But he's like literally hanging off and whatnot. Kimura, as you begin rising above the buildings themselves, go ahead and make me a perception check. Just yeet him.
I'm really glad you didn't have me roll for that, because if I rolled a 1 and just like yeeted him to a window or something,
well, the thing is it does not make sense for you to roll that. Like, it's so easy for you to do. Like,
right.
Calder's a fucking twig.
Well, if you ever want to punish Calder, that's the way to do it, I guess.
9. I was on that with disadvantage, wasn't I? So that is a 9. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it from your even like this high up, you can see the lights, but with like the way the fog is settled in, it's just almost like not blinding, but you know, like it's hard to make out any distinction as far as like what's about. The light is just kind of with the fog and the light. It's just too difficult to see, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm gonna head straight back down to update knock on it. Oh, actually, as I float down, so like the building that Calder's on, I kind of just float back down, and I'm just kind of watching him scramble on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
just like don't fall, and I just kind of float back past, and then I just like kind of gently land next to Knock and go, visibility bad. I cannot see much. Did you put him up there?
That's right. I gave him a boost. He's up there, so yeah, he's up there.
You might need to catch him.
Let's see if Calder sees anything with his terrible perception. I might have to make 2 rolls because he's at disadvantage. He doesn't see anything.
Calder.
Poor Calder. He's trying to be useful, but it's just not. It's just not happening.
You frail boy.
Squishy.
Indeed. So, is he coming down? I'm Calder. Does he recover and get up onto the roof, or is he still hanging?
He's hanging.
All right. I cut my hands to grab his feet so he can just fall down. And then I'll catch him on my fall. So nice little catch.
That went differently in my mind.
Yeah, next time jump off of the springboard. That's the whole point of the... You'll get it.
You'll get it.
And then
Which implies he will be yeeted once more.
Again, yeah.
I said, Kimura, if you didn't go ahead and see anything via visibility, then we better go ahead and see if we can catch up to them.
All right, Calder, keep up.
Okay. And you guys begin making your way ahead. This is giving Wisp and Vodder time to approach. How close are you getting? With your stealth checks, you feel very confident about where you're at, as far as how quiet you're moving. As you walk, like the shadows, like not only do and Wisp, you're used to this, like the shadows almost like muffle sound as you step. Like you feel yourself like step on like a twig or like kick a rock, but like the sound is so muffled. Anybody close enough to you, like far away, wouldn't be able to hear it.
And Vodder feels very comfortable in this too. He doesn't do pass without a trace, but like in the shadow, he feels like he's at home. I think we'd go on until we see something.
Yeah, I want to get as close
Depends
as
on what we see,
possible until we start to like see shapes, figures, anything like that. in the process of this, while we're walking as well, I'll cast dark vision on myself again, so I have 8 hours of dark vision.
Okay, and as you guys approach, you definitely do begin to see shapes. You also hear a female voice crying out, and it says, "It's like, please don't take him. He's not sick. He's not sick. You don't need to take him." And that's just kind of the voice you hear echoing out of from around these buildings.
Sort of lock eyes with Wisp. Communicating silently, like, okay.
I'm going to move so that I'm gonna like try and move across so that I can be next to Vodder now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have things to obscure vision. Should we want to proceed further? Or do you want to go back and see how they feel? The woman's in
Yes.
distress, and I think it's those doctors.
Doctors. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're not sure if they're actually helping or not. But we shouldn't go any further on our own.
As you guys say this, you hear a voice echo out. "Do not interfere with Kyrogen business, madam."
Is this a familiar voice? Is it one of
It
the...
is a very familiar voice. And you hear, "This is for your own protection. Your child is displaying symptoms of plague. They will accompany us to the asylum where they will be greatly cared for."
I think at that moment... I mean, how far away are Nock and the captain and Color?
As you look back, there may be 40, 50 feet behind you, and you can see them moving towards you, I'd say.
All right. I think out of the shadow, they see a big hairy arm sort of wave them forward.
Okay.
Yeah, and as they come in, I will minor illusion to Kimura, like right in front of her face. I want there to be 4. Is it 4, or do we just hear and see the one?
You hear the one, but you can see several figures, but they're kind of like merged together. Like it's
okay.
it's
I'm gonna send her like 4 like tiny little stick figures with the beak mask. Like 4 like little wispy figures that just kind of like pop up in front of her as she's like approaching.
Which is not disturbing at all.
No. But I'm assuming she will understand what it means.
I immediately
But I'll
do
kind of
this
send that backwards.
to like Knock, as is to say stop. Knock, do you stop?
Not.
Because this probably comes up to like your lower
Yeah,
chest.
so only yeah, but it only pops up to you. I'm running ahead of you. I'm probably running ahead of you. I'm gonna play this as realistic as possible.
What?
I'm gonna keep running.
All of a sudden, Vodder and Wisp, you're
Yeah, I was gonna say, so these are cantrips, so every 6 seconds, like after I do the minor illusion, I put back up the pass without a trace that's been around us.
right.
So even if he's running, just in case, but it's at least up, just so everyone's aware. But that's all I can do.
Does Calder move when Knock starts pegging it forward?
He kind of he stops. He just ran.
No shit.
He just went in.
Come. And I'm gonna drag Calder with me, and we're gonna try and take a kind of an outside arc, and kind of go, instead of going straight forward, we kind of head around.
Okay.
So we're still kind of looking into where that is, but we're heading round to another angle.
Okay.
As best we can, considering the weather conditions.
I was just reminded of Leroy Jenkins. Oh my god, he just ran in. Everybody stuck to the plan. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's just right after. Oh my god, he ran in.
Oh my god, he just ran in.
That would be me right now. That would be...
Yeah, that's Calder.
that's
Calder and
Calder. He
Gamora are
just ran in, like-
he just ran in.
Yeah. Oh my god. I bring back so many memories, man. Oh my god. So stupid that fucking goddamn video. I've watched it so many times.
So-
Anyway.
Anyway, back to this child kidnapping. Vodder sort of, meanwhile, like sees Knock coming and
Says, they told us not to interfere. What should we do, Wisp?
We interfere. And Wisp is going to ready darkness for when Knock gets close. And they like see, as soon as they see any of us or him or any inkling that we're there, she's gonna cast darkness over them. Specifically. Just that group.
How big of a range is darkness?
It's 15 feet, centered on a
Okay. Well, like how far away
sphere.
can you cast it? Is it 50
60
feet away?
feet. I
Oh,
can
60
cast
feet.
it
Okay, yeah,
60
you're
feet.
just
Yeah.
you're just fine then.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast 15 feet from approximately, because no matter how far I am, I don't know exactly where they are. So I'm going to guess and try to get it on the center of the how do you say it?
Kyrogen.
The Kyrogen. To
pronounced
hopefully
doctor.
not
pronounced
hopefully not get the woman or the child, but I don't understand where everyone is orientation wise. So I'm just gonna try to center it as much as I can. But that's
Okay.
only if they notice us.
I mean, they notice Knock.
Okay, then yeah, I let it go.
Yeah, I was saying, have I turned the corner yet? Like, if I'm running, like they hear me before they can see me. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So you run and you turn and you see very familiar looking Kyrogen. One of them is holding the wrist of a child, and there's a mother in like the doorway of a home right there. She's begging and pleading, and all of a sudden they all turn and look at you. And there's a moment where they stop because they recognize you, but then they all pull out weapons as you start running, just like running at them, and then all of a sudden, darkness. It's about that time. I don't know if you guys want to stop here or if you want to go through with this combat.
I wouldn't
You know
mind.
what?
I wouldn't mind having a week to figure out what the crap we're going
Yeah,
to do.
that would be nice.
Okay.
It might be
That would
good.
be nice.
It'd be a nice way to start off the next stream with a little bit of fisticuffs, and hopefully I'm picking up
Yeah,
people
straight
and
into
meeting
it.
them.
The last
Also,
thing. The last thing that Knock you hear is outsider. Like just as you.
So I want
Tell
to
about
clarify too. When I cast darkness, I'm gonna do it on 15 feet spread around the leader's face mask,
Right.
because I can cast it on an object. So I'm gonna cast it on his beak mask, so that
Okay.
anytime he moves, it moves with him.
Yeah,
For
man.
next
fuck
week.
some beak mask.
Fuck
Okay.
your beak mask.
Fuck y'all, big mask.
Fuck
Okay.
your beak mask.
That is where we're gonna end this evening. We will pick up next week, right into combat.
Right.
So, oh my goodness,
Meat and potatoes.
let me turn this creepy ass music off for a second.
Put on something happy, please. I feel like we need a
I
palate
don't have happy
cleanser.
music. I don't have happy
I don't
music in this
have
playlist.
happy music.
Could you please, by the next week, just come up with some sort of like end of show happy music,
I can find
Some-
something.
wrap up music, just to like.
Some lo-fi hip hop to
Some
relax and study
lo-fi,
to.
yeah.
Lo-fi hip hop. Oh no.
To relax and think about your next battle tactic move too.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my
This is
God.
gonna be really interesting. I'm super excited. Thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. Let's just go around real quick. Tell us where we can find you and all that sort of stuff. Derek, as we started with you earlier, where can we
Follow
find
us.
you? All that stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. For those who are unfamiliar, my name is Derek from Atop Derek Mountain, where you can find me on Twitch.com at Atop Derek Mountain, where you can find this eclectic brownie playing games and doing geek shit and stuff. And we play a lot of Wild RP. We're switching up and playing a lot of Apex lately because of fucking new legends and whatnot. But that's where you can go ahead and find me. And I hope to see you on top of the mountain peak soon.
Amazing. Hell yeah. I've been having fun with Apex as well. Ray, where can we find you?
Oh, hey, I'm Ray, or With a Brick. You can find me with a brick almost everywhere on the internet. That's 2 Ks, not one. But yeah, I am a variety streamer. I do Wild RP as well. Tomorrow I'll be doing a Wild RP stream, and then over the weekend we'll see how that goes because I'm getting my second vaccination shot. So we'll see what type of games I feel like playing then. But no,
Get
come
that
and hang
juice.
over. Yeah, come and hang over in the Grove. It's a good time. We're all a bunch of nerdy shroom folk over there. It's happy and wonderful. But I'm super stoked to be here. It was a pleasure to play once again with everybody. So many laughs and so many good times. And I can't wait till next week.
Indeed.
Hell yeah. Justin, where can we find you?
I'm Justin. I'm Doc Rimbo here on Twitch and also on Twitter. I always have the goal to stream more than I am streaming, like on Wild, like everybody here. I'm almost positive that this Saturday I'll be streaming because this Saturday on Wild RP, Princess Biscuits is getting married. So, if you if you want to come to the most chaotic wedding of all time,
Since when?
So yeah, that's gonna be fun. This Saturday sometime around 3 p.m. New York time, and you can I'll be streaming that on my channel. I'm quite sure.
I can't wait to see that. Who the fuck are you getting married to?
Hey, check the events channel.
True.
Check
Man.
into the stream.
I
Come
know.
on.
Watch my
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
All right. And Isla, where can we find you?
You can find me here every Thursday at 8 p.m. EST for the Lost City of Vedranis. You can also find me over at Kubernetes every Sunday playing the spy game where I play Phoenix, a hacker with no conscience, but some conscience. She doesn't like malaria pills. Watch and you'll know the context. That's the key. That's the ticket here. You can also find me at Phoenix Over on Twitch, where I do stream. I know currently the backlog looks like I don't, but I'm getting back into it. I've just been very busy recently, but I'll be getting back into streaming there. But yes, every Thursday here and every Sunday over at Kubernetes, and I'll be getting back to my regular schedule soon, or some sort of schedule. But yeah.
Amazing. And I am Lacuna RP or Cole. You can call me whatever you like. I sometimes stream like Doc. It depends. But going forward, you can find me here on InfiniteRP doing some behind the screen where I will be streaming DM prep for this campaign. So if you are interested in seeing the encounter before the encounter happens for next week, tune in. You might get some spoilers. I try to avoid most of them, but I occasionally stream on my own channel. I also stream Wild RP sometimes, random ass games sometimes. I'm playing Dark Souls sometimes, Hades sometimes. It's just a lot of sometimes with me. But again, thank you everybody so much for hanging out. Stay tuned. After the credits, we are gonna be raiding another channel. I think. So stick around, give them some love as well. And yeah, we will see everybody next week. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.